What is going on, everybody? It's your boy AJ, and we're back for another installment for the monthly movie talk. And I cannot do this alone. I got my buddy David from Flix talk with me.
What's going on, man? Sorry, you can be promoting the show. I'm literally promoting the show on my channel. Sorry.
Nice. So tell us what's been going on with you so far this year. We're in March. This is the March show. What's going on this year in 2021 for you, man?
Well, I celebrated a year older, so this is my birthday month, man. So I'm still kind of vibing off that. Other than that, getting ready to go back to the theater tomorrow. So I'm really excited about that. Haven't been to theaters. I won't say in a year, because there was a lot of people that were like, oh, I haven't been back since, last March. But I don't know if you remember last summer, there was kind of like that gap of like they opened up for a month or so. At least out here they did. And that's when I got to see Tenet. So I was actually able to see that in all of its glory, even though we had sound mixing problems because of, I'm sure you heard about all the audio mixing stuff that was going on.
I was there, man. It was crazy, but okay.
So I'm super excited about back in theaters, man. I have taken a hiatus off the live stream, so this is like my first live stream in a while, just on my channel, because I'm focusing more on the pre-recorded videos like vlogs, a lot of the first-time reactions. I'm trying to get back on the trailer reactions. It's just trying to carve out the best ones, I guess. There's so many that hit every day, I'm sure you know. So people seem to like the reactionary stuff, so I'm trying to keep with that with the channel. So just trying to grow organically and fit everything else into the schedule,
Yeah, man. The first time watches are awesome. They're dope. I enjoy watching your first time watches. You just did a Godzilla versus Kong old school.
With King Kong versus Godzilla.
King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, and there was like a debate like what year that came out, because I looked it up and initially it said 1962, so on camera I said 1962, and then I looked it up again and then it said 1963, and then someone said no, it's 1962. I don't know when this came out, but it's old.
Right.
and it is super dated, man, and it's just kind of fun to I was gonna say it looked like a sign of the times, and like my buddy Brando Critic just did one for the original King Kong, the black and white, which I never saw. I don't know if you ever caught that one, but damn, that's a sign of a times too, as well. So, but I mean, these
feel like
the
old Godzilla too. The old Godzillas were definitely signs of the time as well.
Did you get into those at all? Like the old Godzilla versus Mothra, Godzilla versus Mecha, and all this? Because I know that has a lot to do with the new stuff.
I've been wanting to, but I haven't gotten into them. I just seen kind of clips here and there, and I'm just like, it looks so dated.
So dated.
It looks so dated. So I don't know. I have to actually sit down and make time for it.
Yeah, man.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that was the thing I talked about at the beginning of the video, and sometimes those do not so well as others, like the big ones, like watching Rambo for the first time or whatever. But I just do them for fun. I don't even care at this point. I just really want to watch them because whatever's coming out or whatever's on my bucket. I have a list of 50 movies people have recommended, and it's just getting through all of them. And then I don't know if you saw I did a Leprechaun one on St. Patty's Day. Yeah. That was my first one out of my living room, dude. So there's a lot of movies that people are recommending that I need to watch on a big scope. So I'm like, I'm going to watch them out in the living room because I have the surround sound, I have the big screen out there. And a lot of them I have 4K copies for, or Blu-rays. And I want to just watch them I don't want to watch them on my 26-inch screen, monitor, So
yeah, you want to experience it. I get it.
Exactly. That's another plus of me wanting to go back to the movie theater. People are watching screeners on their computer or in the comfort of their own home and stuff like that. But there's something about being there in that atmosphere that I will never forget in my lifetime. And that's another reason why I still collect physical media. And, a lot of people, someone commented on a vlog today that I dropped about physical media, like trading in old stuff for new stuff. And they're like, cool. This is a cool video, but all I need is Netflix. I'm good. And I'm like, well, at the same time, Netflix doesn't have every single movie in the world. What I'm saying?
Hey, that's true. Yeah.
There's a lot.
And no streaming service does.
Exactly. So, sometimes when you're just like, oh man, remember that one time in this movie? Oh yeah, let me go check if it's on, Half Baked or one of these old comedies or something that not even on streaming. Or if it is, you got to pay for it. So it's you might already have
Exactly.
it
On Amazon Prime or something, you have to pay to rent it.
Exactly.
Something like that. Yeah. So I'm big into physical media too. I love collecting and
I
things
see
like that.
that.
I went to Best Buy.
Yeah.
And man, it's kind of depressing now. Like they cut
Is
their movie section in like 1/4 of what it was where I stay anyway.
Yeah, so there was a couple people that I follow that were telling me the exact same thing. Alex at Levels of Geeks, he was telling me that his is non-existent. Like they don't even have a section anymore. They told him that he needs to order online
Yeah.
only. And I hate that because you have to pay like additional fees and whatnot for that. So with that, for me, I'll usually go like directly through Amazon Prime, or if I'm lucky enough, my Best Buys do have a couple of aisles. Mine haven't even shrunken down. So that's why I'm like,
Really?
yeah. So that's why I'm wondering how it's going on with the rest of the country. I've noticed prices have been getting cheaper, but the sections haven't shrunken down a little bit. That's what I've noticed.
They're coming for you. They're coming for you.
I can only imagine, man. Cali's crazy right now.
Yeah, when I went in there, I went last Friday, and I was just like kind of depressed because I'm like, Best Buy isn't even fun anymore because I went to the video game section and there were no video games there, like actual copies of games. It was just like a paper. Yeah, it was like a paper, like inserted in like those plastic cases, and it says if you need a specific game, ask an associate. So you can't even go and browse games anymore. You have to like do it all online or ask an associate to bring one out for you. It's crazy, man. Like times are really changing. They really are.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because if you think about it, like to me, it is a good and a bad thing depending on who you are. Because if I want a game right away and I want to play it, I don't want to have to travel, and I could just download it. Yeah, you got to wait that time of, you always see people like posting like, oh, my wait time is like overnight, they're downloading or whatever like that.
Right.
But it's the convenience factor of having it right there. And then at the same time, it's just like, there's something about just having that tangible, just like a physical copy, the artwork, just even waiting in line to get it. Even waiting in line to get it.
To pay for it, to get it, pay for it. And that whole experience is like, I love it. So when you can't even like go around and browse and search for the games, it's just kind of sad. Yeah. But yeah. So I think we got some people in the comments before we get into our topics for today.
Thank you for having me on the channel, by the way. I didn't even.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you for coming, man.
Of course.
What's up, guys? Looking forward to finally getting to see Black Widow. That's Mid-Level Media. Ken, what's going on, Ken? Man?
Ken's always posting great physical media. I think him and I really alike when we like think of like movies. Like I usually notice like his descriptions underneath. I'm like, this guy gets it. Like we have the same taste in movies.
Yes. Yeah. And then he says, I keep seeing the Godzilla versus Kong on Blu-ray every time, and I walk into FYE, need to pick it up. Yeah, it is
one, the older one, or
the 1933, I think. Wait, is that I think that's the one that you were just talking about, the one that you reacted to.
No. Well, this one, 1933, is the one that Brando just reacted to. It's like the black and white where he climbs the Empire State Building. That one I haven't seen yet. But he's talking about, I keep seeing that Godzilla versus Kong on Blu-ray every time. He's probably talking about it's called King Kong versus Godzilla. If it's a 1963 one. And that's what I kept saying when I was recording. I kept saying Godzilla versus Kong because it's just like in your brain.
Yeah, it's like ingrained in your brain to say it like that.
Yeah.
Tony Movie Chappie, thank you for stopping by the channel.
What's up, Tony?
What's going on? What you guys been doing? How you guys been doing? I've been good. Film Explorel, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Robert makes cut. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by.
Rob is a big collector too.
Yep. So we're gonna get into our topics for today. And first on the list, Black Widow getting a secure release date in theaters and on Disney Plus simultaneously, July 9th. What do you think about this, man? Like, are you the hype level gone down? Is it fluctuated? Have you ever been excited for it? What are your thoughts?
First of all, this new Scarlett, I'm gonna say Scarlett Johansson poster. It's pretty much just a Scarlett Johansson poster, the Black Widow poster. Dude,
It
she is a
is.
goddess, bro. She is a goddess. She's a very beautiful woman. I mean, we had talked about this a while back. Myself and Elliot from Movie Files. He's like, this is a movie that should have came out like like within the first couple of years of the whole decade, or over a decade now, the MCU of the Marvel Studio movies, basically. But better late than never, I say. If it's going to tell a story between a certain gap, I forget what years this is going to be, but I know it's before certain events, right?
Yeah.
And then they just keep releasing more and more info about, she's passing the torch to Florence. Once you start hearing all that, it's like you're throwing way too much out there. So to answer your question, my excitement level, once I keep hearing more details, it starts to go down. It really does go down. Is this a character that I really cared about in the whole, time I was watching MCU movies? Not as much as probably some of the other characters, but I do think she's a strong character, and I really did want to see kind of her arc in the background and how she became, the fighter that she is today. And we saw that like in a lot of the trailers and stuff like that. I thought it was a really good trailer. It looks good. It looks more on the elements of a Marvel /007 movie. And that's where I think that's where I think it's gonna appease to a couple of crowds, because I think if you're going into the straight Marvel fan, it may not hit you at all angles. I mean, some people are gonna be like, it's not, superhero-y enough, I guess, if you know what I'm saying. But I think if you tackle that, secret agent, type of level, Mission Impossible type of movie crowd, you'll make some good money and attract a good crowd. But release date officially now, and we were saying this since last year. It's gonna be released on Disney Plus for a $30 price point. We knew it.
We called it.
Everyone called it. And people were like, you know what? I'd rather pay $30 for this than Mulan. Remember that back in the day?
Yeah, I remember that. And because they were supposed to come out like around the same time or something like that. Like they were, this film has gotten delayed so many times. I can't even keep up with the release dates. But whenever Premiere Access is mentioned, that's more than likely a secure date. How do you feel about the secure access period, or the
Premiere?
Is it secure Premiere Access? Yeah, the Premiere Access as a whole. Like, what do you think about that?
I hate it. I think it's a greedy tactic that Disney's doing to double dip. I don't know if you saw the announcement today that Disney's upping their tier again in price. I didn't read what the price list is, but didn't they just announce like a new price list bump
for Premiere Access?
No, just for Disney subscriptions in general. For Disney Plus.
I didn't know anything about that. No.
Yeah, I just did. Someone sent me an article that they're bumping it up again very soon. So if that's the case, that plus another $30, that's ridiculous.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, I knew it was going to happen because of the quality of movies that they have and shows and stuff like that. That's why they started out so low. That's why they started out so low, so they can get so many subscribers and then bump it up. They're smart. They're absolutely smart what they did, as opposed to like an HBO Max where it's like double the price and they're barely rolling out the original content. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think they're winning, is that they own so many properties, as does HBO Max and Paramount Plus and stuff like that. Because don't count Paramount Plus out, man. I don't know if you've seen, they own a lot of crap.
I saw that, and none of it really I'm that interested in. There's Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's going to be an Avatar Studios, and I think there's like new content, continuing content, things like that for it. But that's really the only thing I'm into with Paramount Plus. Mission Impossible 7. Yeah, it's supposed to drop on there, and A Quiet Place 2 is supposed to drop on there. But those are the only two films that I even saw that I was interested in on there.
Yeah, no, I'm more excited about the nostalgic factor of like all the old Nickelodeon shows getting reboots or spin-offs, as well as like MTV. I think they said they're going to bring back Beavis and Butthead, which I was a huge fan of. That's another thing too. It's kind of a niche market. Like there's, even as a youngster, like there's only so much Beavis and Butthead I could watch before I got sick and tired of it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
It kind of reminds, but when you mentioned the Nickelodeon thing, it kind of reminds me of Disney Plus. When it first came out, they have all these old Disney Channel shows and Phil of the Future and even Stevens and things like that. And you get Disney Plus, you watch some of that stuff for like a week or two, and then you're like, I'm done. You know, I feel like that might be the same way with Paramount Plus. You get it, and then okay, I'm gonna watch a little bit of Cat Dog. I'm gonna watch a little bit of what's another show, Pete and Pete, you know, whatever, and for maybe a week or two, and then you're like, I'm done. So I don't know. It might be around the same thing.
Yeah, and I'm a little older than you, and you know, I understand that, you know, the sentiment of nostalgic, and it is cool, but it's just to revisit that time period, but it's not going to have the same rewatch value as you think, at least for me, and I'm sure for you too. It's like, it's cool for the moment, but it's like, how long are these cartoons? Because I know they're doing a lot of SpongeBob stuff, and that's a show that's been on forever, and I'm surprised it's like
99, I think.
Yeah, it's bridged generations, like couple of generations. It's like it's kept their audience. It's kept a new audience and an older audience, you know, because I think I might have been entering high school. Yeah, I was entering high school when they premiered it, but I was still watching throughout high school because I thought it was like, you know, funny, goofy. It was fun animation at the time. But then obviously, like as I was getting later in high school, I phased out of watching stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah. So they just target a younger demographic, but it seems like they've held that younger demographic to spin off movies, and you know, they pull Keanu Reeves and David Hasselhoff into the movie and crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
But
they're smart.
Yeah, they are very smart, and they built a brand. I can't say the latter for the rest of like Beavis and Butthead, or like I don't know what other spinoff shows they're going to do from MTV. Maybe Daria, or I don't know, Ren and Stimpy or something. I don't know. I don't think they're not going to hold weight. You know what I mean?
They're bringing the Real World back with the original. Original cast.
My girl and I caught that this last weekend, I think, and it was interesting, but we couldn't get past the first episode. We're like,
really?
Yeah. Well,
did you watch it when it was on originally?
See, so I had seen the Real World, but I guess it must have been a later season than what they're talking about, because I think the original Real World was like in 94, 95. So I was still young. I might have been like 9 or 10. So I wasn't watching reality TV. They did spawn reality TV though. They're the ones that pioneered it for sure.
Right.
So kudos to them. Kudos to them on that. It was just more interesting seeing like 25 years later or whatever, it was 26 years later, how I guess everybody, honestly, if you look at it now, I don't know if you call like a trailer with it, they all look the same, bro.
I saw like a side by side of the posters, and like they had the same poses and everything. And I was like, wow, they pretty much all of them aged pretty well.
Yeah, so I mean, it is kind of fun on that nostalgic factor, but it's like, okay, you're watching people in their late 40s like argue about dumb shit. Like, well, I'm fine. I'm good on that.
It kind of reminds me of Jersey Shore. That's one of the shows that I grew up with and watched the reunion or whatever, the family vacation or whatever. So that's one of my guilty pleasures. But it's kind of the same thing. Like they were kind of wild, and you know, when they were younger, but now they're kind of older, more mature, and
most of them got kids. I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Didn't one of the guys go to jail for like fraud or something?
Yeah, like embezzlement or something. Yeah.
Right. Geez.
So, or he tax fraud or something like that.
Yeah. He did some time.
But yeah, we got 8 people in the chat. Wow, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, make sure you go down, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button. Follow this guy over here.
There I am.
Yeah, and all the links are in the description. So I'm gonna get to some of the comments. I'm a little backed up here with the comments.
For sure.
Let's see.
Got Wishwood in the house. What's up?
Yeah. Basic Entertainment. Yo, what's good, guys? What's up, man? Tony Movie Chappie. This doesn't really surprise me that much, but just happy that we don't have to wait 2 more years for this. I think they're talking about the Black Widow, and I'm excited too. My excitement level has fluctuated so much, but since we have this more secure release date, I feel a lot better, and like my anticipation level has gone higher a little bit. Yeah. So maybe it'll go down again. I don't know, man. Between July 9th, I don't know.
Well, what do you think about the other movies that we were talking about on Paramount, like A Quiet Place and then the next Mission Impossible? What's your excitement level for that?
Mission Impossible, high, very high. A Quiet Place 2, moderately high.
Okay.
My expectations, not expectations, but my excitement level kind of went down a little bit. It was supposed to release last year, and it's just kind of like all these movies are getting delayed. Okay, we'll see them when we see them, kind of thing.
I think that was supposed to come. That was a lot of people's last Hollywood premiere out here, because they do the Hollywood premieres, and it was like a week before they had shut everything down. And I was really looking forward to that as well, because that came out like the second or third week of March, something like that, and I was getting really pumped for it.
Yeah, and that's. I was excited for it, and I almost got my tickets, but everything went to lockdown. And
I was gonna say, I'm kind of with you on like the excitement level went down for Quiet Place for me, Quiet Place 2, because you were kind of like on that train of the first movie, so like you were getting amped up, and then once they delayed a little more, and then much more stuff comes out, you're just like, get a little, start to lose it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I am excited for it. I have to say that I am excited for it because I did enjoy the first one a lot, but it just kind of fluctuates with these delays, and we get trailers, and like you said, more information comes out for them about them, and so I hate kind of how it goes, but that's how we're living now.
That's what it is.
All right, man. Tony Movie Chappie says, I wonder what do you guys think is going to happen to Jungle Cruise with Rock and Emily Blunt? They might as well put that one on Disney Plus as well. I agree. That one I don't think really even deserves to be, a theater film in the theaters. I know it probably has a bigger budget, but the way things are going now with films and how things are being released, just throw it on Disney Plus and don't make us do premiere access for it.
No,
it's like they did with Soul. They didn't make us do premiere access with Soul. I know that one came out on Christmas, and I think they were just trying to give us a Christmas gift or whatever. But
they weren't trying to be Grinch, the Grinch on that day, huh?
Right, but it probably all was towards trying to get more subscribers so they can charge that. So it was a gift, and a gift, quote unquote.
I agree. Jungle Cruise should definitely just go to streaming. I don't know if you've ever been to Disneyland. I'm sure they have one at Disney World.
Disney World.
Okay, have you ever gone on the Jungle Cruise ride? It's the most boring ride they have there at the. That's why I don't even know why they would make a movie out of that.
Hilarious.
It's a word.
Oh man, somebody out there, that's probably their favorite ride, man.
Oh, dude, you're just literally sitting in a little boat, and you're just cruising around. That's all you're doing. You're cruising around, looking at all the fake animals around you, like the snakes and different things, and that's it. There's no dips. They don't do nothing.
It doesn't sound fun. It doesn't.
Nah, it's terrible.
But I kind of want to ride it just to see how boring it is. So maybe next time I go to Disney, I'll just do it. I'm a glutton for punishment anyway. So Art Wishwood says, thank you for stopping by the chat, by the way. I don't know if I said hey to Art, but are they bringing back Rugrats? Our Real Monsters, Space Cases, salute your shorts. I think they are bringing back Rugrats. I think. Is he asking or okay? Yeah, he's asking because of question mark. So yeah, I know they're bringing back Rugrats, but they're like redoing the animation. Like it's 3D animation instead of the 2D animation.
Are you a fan of that?
No, I looked at the like there was like a little clip or trailer or whatever, maybe like a little teaser. I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of strange.
Yeah,
I'm so used to that 2D. Animation.
Yeah, the 2D, exactly. Yeah, the more flat, like a comic book or something. But I agree, because I did post that one up when they released that teaser, Paramount Plus, and people were asking me about it. They're like, "Man, I hate this." That's all the comments said. I hate the way this looks. And I told people, I said, you know what, it's kind of growing on me a little bit. But now the more that I talk about how much I loved the original, and you know what? People forget that there was spin-offs of Rugrats, and there was like Rugrats the older years. Remember that when they go to
all grown up? All
All
grown
grown
up.
up.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the more that I see, I remember all that stuff. I'm like, why didn't they just keep this animation? It would have held up, I thought.
I think it would have held up. I think it
Yeah.
would have. Yeah, I think that about a lot of series that have gotten canceled. I feel like maybe Cat Dog could come back. I think this is the second time I mentioned Cat Dog in this stream. I really enjoyed that show, and I really enjoy Angry Beavers as well.
I
So
was gonna say,
if they bring
yeah.
that back, I don't know. I might get Paramount Plus.
I was
Maybe
gonna
for a
say,
week or two.
I always hold Cat Dog and Angry Beavers in the same. For some reason, they must be made by the same people because it's kind of like the same animation.
Yeah, I think it's a similar animation. I think
Yeah.
similar jokes and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I think they came out. They were on around the same time too. So yeah, it's easy to compare them and put them together.
Yeah, for sure.
Art says they're a little older than David. Okay.
Yeah, he's a little older than me.
Okay. Mr. Dingo, what's up? Thank you for stopping by the chat.
I love that avatar, by the way. That's from Celebrity Deathmatch. Remember that?
Yes. On MTV.
That was another show they were trying to bring back.
Watched a little bit of it. Do you think they're going to bring that back again?
Well, that was another show that they were trying to. They were trying to, and then I heard, oh God, someone was attached to bringing it back, like an artist or something, like a rapper, or someone was going to bring it back, and they had a huge stake in it, if I can recall correctly, but it didn't. I don't know if it just didn't fall through or if it's got delayed or what, but that would be all if they can bring it back like in the same, because it was like claymation, right, or something.
Yeah, it was claymation.
Like clay, that takes a long time. I mean, you can't just knock out episodes every week like that.
Right. It does take time. So I don't know. Maybe that was the issue. If they bring it back, they might make it computer animated.
It's like 3D,
like a 3D animation. But I feel like that would cheapen it a little bit.
Yeah.
If they don't go, how they used to do it.
I did watch this like religiously on MTV when it would come out. I remember it would come out like the later block, like 9-10 p.m. or something like that. But yeah, I used to watch it.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it. I didn't like watch it religiously or anything, but I did catch a little bit of it. Like I think there was an episode where Beavis and Butthead were actually on there and they were claymation. Yeah, so man, that show, it was wild.
Yeah, the 90s were. I would say the 90s were a wild time.
They were, especially TV. Yeah. Daria was my jam. I never got into Daria much. I saw a couple episodes, and I knew that Daria was kind of a spinoff of Beavis and Butthead, and I was kind of like expecting that same kind of comedy. And it's not the same. Daria is not the same as Beavis and Butthead. It's a lot more serious tones. And it's just like, this isn't that funny. But I do respect that Daria has a cult following.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm surprised it lasted more than I thought it would have going to last like one couple episodes, but it lasted a couple. I don't know how many seasons, but it lasted a couple seasons for sure, at least. And it was more of that dry humor. And I liked Daria and her. I think she had a friend. Forget her friend. She had like short hair, and they were funny in the show, like when they would show them. But I could never imagine like the spinoff shows that they had.
Yeah,
like to work.
Me either. Yeah, me either. Me either. Just never got into them.
Yeah.
4K Corner. What's going on?
4K?
Yes. And let's see if we got any more questions.
I can hear like a train in the background of your house.
Yeah, there's a train.
That sounds kind of eerie, man. Like a ghost train or something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to turn down my brightness because I'm blown out over here.
I actually prefer Rugrats All Grown Up over the original. Okay.
That's the first time I've heard someone say that.
I've never heard that before. But I really did like All Grown Up. I watched all the episodes of All Grown Up. I don't think I've seen all of Rugrats, but I have seen all Grown Up. But there was significantly less episodes of All Grown Up, though. So
there was a spinoff. There was actually, I think, in talks when All Grown Up came out that they were going to make a show of, God, what the hell's her name? The two oldest, Angelica and what was her friend?
Susie. I
could have sworn that they were going to make a spinoff of them. I'd read
when they were older.
Yeah, when they were doing the all grown up
so.
thing, they were trying
Yeah.
to do some kind of spin-off with them, and then it fell through or whatever. The show just didn't hold weight. And then they also made a bunch of movies of those the Rugrats too.
Yeah, they did, and I feel like I've seen all the movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
I don't think I've seen any of them.
There was like one where they go to Paris, and then there was another one, Rugrats Go Wild, and they actually met like Eliza Thornberry from the Thornberrys.
Oh, yeah, it's like in the jungle, right?
Yeah, it's in the jungle, and
I remember the cover. Yeah,
they met all the Thornberry people. So
that was another show I forgot about.
Yep.
The Wild Thornberries. Yeah,
Yep, that's my show too.
Yeah.
Art says, Tony, I respectfully disagree, but I still invite you to my parties.
There you go.
That's hilarious. Luke Reviews, what's up? Who would David rather fight, Bucky or Sam? We haven't gotten to Falcon and Winter Soldier yet, but I asked this question on their live yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. So he returned the favor. Who would you rather fight, Bucky or Sam?
I'm gonna say Sam, dude. If I get hit with that Wakandan arm, I'm dead.
Gone.
That vibranium arm, I'm done. You're gonna cave my chest and I'm dead.
That's what I said too. I was like, maybe you'll survive if you fight Sam, but you're not gonna survive if you fight Bucky. Not at all. Let's get back to the topics because I feel like we're falling a little bit behind. This is the second topic. This is the second topic. So Cruella, what do you feel about Cruella? I don't know if I can even say that name right. Cruella. Yeah. Okay. Gotta take my time with that
one. So I think when I initially had posted about this or talked about it, I thought that this was the first live action that we ever had of this character. I was wrong because I guess a while back, like 20 years ago or something like that, it might have been even later or earlier. There was maybe sooner, that there was a character that already did a live action of this.
Yeah, Glenn Close. Did 101 Dalmatians, and I think 102 Dalmatians too. Live action.
See, that one I never saw. That's why I didn't even know like this character existed. Now that I know that they're gonna continue, do a prequel, pretty much like an origin story of this.
Yep.
One, when this was announced, I saw Emma Stone, and I'm like, okay, that's cool casting, especially when I saw this poster and stuff like that. I always talk about Emma Stone was a character I never thought would have a glow up like she did in her career. Never. When I first saw her in Superbad, I thought she was like clever and witty, but I thought she was going to get typecast in that character forever, like a Jonah Hill character, and then or even like a Michael Cera character for that matter. But she overcame. Yeah, he had a bad one, but he's still struggling. Yeah, he's just but she was able to jump over those hurdles and really make a name for herself. Then the second vibe I got after watching this trailer was it really reminded me of The Devil Wears Prada, like more fashion based, more sassy. I
can see that.
More, more of that vein. Which I love. The Devil Wears Prada. It's probably one of my guilty pleasure films. Yeah,
mine too.
You like that? Yeah.
Yes.
So, if it has that vibe, I will go into this kind of knowing what to expect. I still really don't know what to expect other than it looks like she's pulling off heists in her early days with a couple of crew and whatnot. I don't really know how that's going to be received by a Disney crowd. So I'm like, I'm trying to see who they're trying to aim towards for a demographic, but it just seems like more of like a young adult, older adult, actual adult crowd, if anything, not really on the kid market. I only saw 2 Dalmatians in the whole movie. I mean, we're going to implement like that, just them.
I don't know if the Dalmatians are really like
even
the
part
center
of it.
I don't think they're going to be the center of this particular story since it is an origin. But
so this is before all of that, probably.
It is, and because she's like a lot older in 101 Dalmatians. Yeah, she's like older. Yeah, so. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, lost track. Yeah, so Cruella, I kind of got Harley Quinn vibes a little bit when I watched the trailer.
Lucas and a lot of people were comparing this to Joker.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, I think I saw a lot of the memes, like people putting the Joker makeup on her and stuff like. Oh no, the Harley Quinn makeup on her. And I think when you have certain movies, especially recently, that are talking about like mental issue and whatnot, it's so hard to not compare them to certain movies. But there's many levels, man. We were just talking about this yesterday because someone did an amazing breakdown of the new Sia movie that just came out called Music. Did you hear about that
Yeah.
one? Did you watch that by any chance?
I watched like clips of it and like read articles about the controversy of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some
Yeah,
controversy there.
I think she
For
even got a
sure.
Razzie for that, or one
Oh,
nomination
really?
for Razzie of that. Yeah, for that film.
Really?
And I
Yikes.
think the central point of that video, which I want to tie into this, was that in that instance for autism, there's spectrums. There's spectrums of things. It's just not when someone has one condition, they're going to act a certain type of way always. There's a certain spectrum, one side or the other. I think when we see characters like this that have full makeup, or there's characters that act like a certain like manic way, we automatically go, oh, mental disorder can only be one way, right? It has to be one way. And if that's the hot topic, as it is in the last couple of years with movies and whatnot, Joker is like the GOAT. That was like the main movie that focused on that. That was, to me, that wasn't even a superhero movie or super villain movie. It was more about it was about his depression. It was more about his madness, his descent into madness. So I think it's an easy comparison when you're watching this. I didn't really get Harley Quinn vibes because I thought Harley Quinn was a little more over eccentric, I guess. She was like the opposite Joker, and I didn't get that too much. Yeah, she had a couple of like one-liners in here and stuff like that, but then again, I don't remember how she was older in life. Cruella was with the live action. So
I was really never into 101 Dalmatians at all. So this one is a little bit beyond me, but I mean, I have seen the film a while ago, and then there was a show that was another one of my guilty pleasures. It was called Once Upon a Time, where it had a lot of different characters from Disney, films, and there was a live action Cruella DeVille on that one as well. Much of a side character, but she was still live action.
Yeah, I guess to round it out for this discussion of this topic, I don't know too much. Once I read a little more information, did we get a final trailer for this? Did they come up with another one?
I don't think we got a final trailer for it yet.
Okay, so maybe when we see that final trailer to get a little more detail, I might get a little more invested because as of right now, it just looks like a fashion show. That's kind of what it looked like to me.
And these posters are cool, but they kind of do look like photo shoots. It doesn't really
like a photo shoot.
It doesn't really feel like a film, like a villain origin story film.
Yeah, it looks like a Vogue magazine cover.
It does. It really does. It really does. But I think that might be the point. That might be the point of the posters here. So moving on to the next topic. Do you know much about Zatanna? The character?
You know what? I kind of looked into it. Actually, I think this was the announcement was Zatanna, and was it Batgirl or was it Batgirl? About her making the movie. They're gonna make a movie about Batgirl, right?
Okay.
And then
I didn't know this.
Okay, because I think this came out simultaneously like a week ago with the news of Zatanna. So I think I'm pretty sure it was Batgirl and then her as well getting she's either getting a movie or a series. I'm getting like tied up right here. But I did look deeper into the character. Like on face value, I was like, okay, she doesn't look that appealing. Once I read her abilities, I was like, holy crap, I'm into this.
It's kind of like equivalent to Scarlet
Witch. It's almost like a Doctor Strange. Yeah, it's almost like a Doctor Strange character. Yeah, I liked it.
So I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about Zatanna, but I have seen like Justice League Unlimited and different cartoons, animated series like that where she features in here and there, and she's pretty dope. So I'm excited about Emerald Fennell directing this because I really enjoyed Promising Young Woman a lot. Yeah. So I'm excited for this.
That's another one too. Is I had a lot of cinephile friends that were kind of split a little bit with Promising Young Woman. They either loved it or they hated it. I wouldn't say that I loved it because obviously, I mean, the ending of the movie is pretty. I'm not controversial, but it's pretty graphic and explicit. I guess I would say it's dark.
It's definitely dark.
It is dark, but I kind of like the way it played out because it wasn't your traditional,
Yeah.
like, revenge type of movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
You didn't
didn't
really
turn,
see it coming.
yeah, it didn't turn into like a Kill Bill movie, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
And that's kind of what I was going into it thinking it might be.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hyped for that. So the
Yeah.
first viewing of it, I was just kind of like, this is kind of tame, you know, for what I was expecting. And then I watched it a second time and I really enjoyed it for what it was. And I really enjoyed the direction that Emerald brought to it. So I'm excited for Zatanna. And I don't know, like I said, I haven't read the comics and I haven't really dove into this character. I probably will before the film comes out, which probably will be like 2022, 2023. So yeah,
this
and I'm
this one is going to be the film, right?
That's what I read.
Okay, so then that must mean the Batgirl is going to be the series.
I would enjoy that more than a Zatanna series and a Batgirl movie.
Okay.
Yeah. I would enjoy this better this way. But I think it's the film. So hopefully it is.
And then HBO Max too, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's
and HBO Max. I have faith in, you know, the production quality in HBO Max.
Everything DC, I'm assuming is coming out on HBO Max. I think Warner has their hand with everything DC pretty much, right?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. So moving on to the next topic, I don't know much about this, but Coming to America. Have you seen the sequel? Have you seen the sequel?
Sadly, yes, I have.
That's the vibe I get from the trailer. That's why I just keep putting it on the back burner. And I have yet to hear anybody say that they loved it. So that's why I'm kind of like a little apprehensive.
I've seen some people say they loved it, and I'm like, who is paying you off? Like, are the studios really paying you off? Is I think it's was it is it who put this out? Paramount or I think it's Paramount.
No, it was Amazon. But
there's another studio though attached to the. I think it's Paramount because they showed the mountain and like they go flying past it and then they go into Africa and it's like like it's like the Lion King. It's like the Lion. That's like the intro for the movie. Like it's like it flies past the mountain. And I've seen them do that before. It's not anything like original. That's why I thought it was Paramount. I thought it might have been Paramount, but I could be wrong, guys. But Coming to America, I'll just say this: the first 30-40 minutes of buildup with the characters that we know from the first. Have you seen the first one?
Nope. I've seen bits and pieces of the first one, and I've probably seen the whole film, but just in bits and pieces.
I would say you have to watch the first one to appreciate the second one. Appreciate the reoccurring characters that Eddie has created. This is like his own like Eddie multiverse, man. I could see it's insane with these characters. He has so many just over the years with Nutty Professor and like all these characters he's built for himself, right? In his franchise. But so then you get a lot of callbacks to those in like the first 30-40 minutes. And then we get an introduction to his son. And that's when the movie goes, pew, it goes down.
Yikes.
Really bad actor.
40 minutes. Really?
About the 40-minute mark.
At the 40-minute mark. Yikes. And how long is the film? About an hour and a half? Hour and 40?
I think it's probably about hour and 40. No, it's not pushing. It's about an hour 40, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this one because I haven't seen it, and I don't really have that much intention on seeing it. But it came out in March, so
yeah, I don't know if you saw. He already announced that he's coming out with. He's working on Coming to America 3.
No.
Yeah, he is.
No, Eddie, come on, man.
But check this out. He said, he goes, I want to wait 17 years later. And they said, oh, you're going to age the character 17 years? And he goes, no. I'm going to wait 17 years to make the movie. What? For what?
Right, exactly. Why?
So you can get actual wrinkles in your face to play that. Just use makeup. Why do you have to? What is the point? So he's going to play. Yeah.
So when was this film released? 17 years ago?
No, it was way over 17 years ago. It was like in the late 80s, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think he wants to do that so he can play. So in the original movie, he's the prince. and
you're right.
his dad is the king, who's played by God, the guy that does Mustafa from is it James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones,
Mufasa.
with that deep voice,
Yeah.
Darth Vader, and
And he was in the sequel, right?
he's also in the sequel. I'll just say he's in it for a brief moment, because obviously, I mean, if he's become the king, then we know that his father has passed away. So I'm only assuming that the third one would just continue the same cookie cutter story of him becoming the king. I'm sorry, passing on the king to the prince. Yeah, the prince who will become the king, and then it just keeps going in full circle. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, nah, not for me. Not for me.
Yeah.
So, but this next topic that we're going to talk about is for me.
Okay.
Snyder Cut, aka Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is a big one, so we might just try to keep it a little brief with it, but we're going to probably talk a little bit of spoilers, kind of our favorite parts. Have you seen it?
I have not, so it'll be very brief.
Oh, well, that's that then. So yeah, Snyder Cut. Where do I start? I'm gonna try to keep this as brief as possible. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Let me ask you a quick question before you get into it. Is it really a 4:3 aspect ratio the whole movie?
It is the whole film.
I'm out. Okay, good.
Really? What? Are you
That
serious?
is the worst way to put out a movie.
I don't think you even notice it after a minute.
But what is the benefit of instead of going widescreen the other way with the bars on top? What is what more could you would get less, wouldn't you?
I feel like you get more, maybe. I don't know.
But how is that even logically possible with the way TVs are made?
I don't know. The top and the bottom. You get more of top and the bottom.
Well, why wouldn't you just do that full IMAX mode, the one like he did with he remastered Batman v Superman and put it out?
I think he did the same thing. The aspect ratio.
That's not the same. IMAX is not the same aspect ratio as 4:3.
Right. I think he did 4:3 for BVS for Batman v Superman.
Not for the remaster. The new one?
That's what I saw. Yeah, the new one that just dropped on HBO Max. That's what I saw.
I just saw a comparison, and they showed that it looked like it went all the way across.
Oh, it did? The new one?
Yeah, it went all the way across. That's why I was a little confused. But I'm sorry. Keep going, man.
No,
I don't want to halt your show.
It's okay. It's okay. I enjoyed the film a lot. But I don't think I am on the same hype train as everybody else. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd. It just, and I gave it a 7.5. My personal score on Instagram when I reviewed it on Instagram. I enjoyed it a lot, but it is a 4-hour film. It's very long. And yeah, it's good. I really enjoy the action sequences. I really enjoyed the action sequences in the 2017 version as well. Even though that film was fundamentally broken. It was just bad all around. Except I enjoyed the action sequences. I don't know. That's just me. And I just did a watch along not too long ago, watching the film, and those parts I had fun with. So
did they
just kind of expanding on that and things like that? I enjoyed it a lot.
I want to ask you, did they ever explain how much way back? Because I don't really follow the DC films too much or projects too much. Did they ever explain with the Joss Whedon version how much of it was Joss Whedon and how much of it was Zack Snyder, the first original film?
I don't think they actually broke it down into like percentages or anything. But there was a lot of Whedon in there. So
okay.
And I think a lot of the concepts of the story were Whedon as well.
Okay.
So, that's one reason why it didn't work. The fans didn't care for it.
Hey, what's up? Eve is in the chat now. I was gonna say, because every time people always, they just shit on Whedon for the original, but I always think, Zach did have a a hand in that. So it's like, why does
did.
he get the brunt of the of the hate if Zach was also attached to that project? That's I just wanted to know kind of like roughly, because I try to do people. I mean, I don't try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, like that's why when the whole Ray Fisher thing was going on, is it Ray Fisher or Ray Parker? I
Yeah,
always say
Ray Fisher.
Who's Ray Parker? I always say Ray Parker.
I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure who that is.
Someone's probably make compilation of me saying Ray Parker so many times. But Fisher, that's why when all this stuff came out and people were saying F Whedon and stuff like that, and I was like, well, guys, like until I literally say some proof, I can't see some proof of, you know, misconduct. I can't really say that other than all I've heard is he's a shitty director. That's all I've really heard. So that's all I have to go
original?
On.
The 2017 version?
No. There's a lot of DC projects that I haven't seen. I still haven't seen Batman v Superman. So people were like, wait till the remaster comes out to actually see it. That's where I saw the clips of like the comparisons. Now I really want to see it to see if it is in that 4:3 aspect ratio, because I
think it is.
I saw a couple of, I did see the expansion of the top going up a little more, but I also thought it was widening out it as well. I don't know. I could have seen a YouTube video wrong or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I have to look into that a little closer after the stream. But but Snyder Cut, we didn't get into any spoilers because David hasn't seen it, but
I probably won't see it. You could spoil it for me. That's fine.
Really?
Well, this is the thing too.
I don't think you're gonna watch it.
Well, the only reason I say I'm not going to watch it, at least not this soon in the game, to remember even what we're talking about right now, is because I would want to go back and follow all these other movies before it. And that's the thing too. That's the only reason why I'm following these Marvel projects so closely, is because I've almost seen I have seen every movie and every show now. So, I mean, I'm not versed like 1000% in the comics and saying I'm a Marvel master, but I just tend to watch those movies and know what's going on a little bit more with that news than it is with the Justice League, with the DC comics and whatnot. So, I mean, you can go ahead, talk it. I'll probably forget it in T-5 seconds.
Yeah, I won't go too much into it because we're already at 50 minutes.
No worries.
But I also wanted to talk about this might not have much to do with you because you haven't seen it, but thoughts on Warner Brothers not continuing the Snyderverse, not Spider-Verse, the Snyderverse, and kind of ending it here. So we have Man of Steel, BVS, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, and they're cutting it off right there. Yeah. A lot of fans want to see more from Snyder in the DC universe. But
I thought Snyder had said like months ago, like, this was it, guys. This is your one and done. Like, I'm doing my zombie stuff now. Like, wasn't that already announced? Like, it's not up to the studios, it's up to Zack.
I mean, that's true. That's true. But the fans, they want this,
Look, I understand that, but if the fans wanted if the fans got what the fans wanted, every single movie would be fan made. You know what I mean? So we have to have, like,
the fans wanted this, and we got it.
This was history making. I think I think the fandom surrounding Justice League Snyder Cut is what makes it what it was. Because it was something that was campaigned for by the fans, for the fans. The fans received this for the most part, I think, really, really well, an average or above. So even the critics would like bumped it up, they kept comparing it. Oh, this versus the Whedon cut, we get it. Josh Whedon's version sucked. Like, that guy, I'm surprised that guy hasn't, well, I don't want to say nothing, but he's probably in a deep dark corner, crying his heart out, drinking his sorrows away. I'll just say that we get it. That being said, at the same token, it's up to Zack to determine his own future now. Right.
Hey, that's true. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I get that.
And I'm not mad at him for wanting to venture out and do what you have to remember. He started off with zombie movies, man. I mean, the Dawn of the Dead remake, which I think is still holds up to like the original. Like, it's a great remake or reboot. And if he wants to continue that lane or do other movies, that's his vision. If anything, guys, get better directors and writers for these DC projects. That's all you can hope for. That's all you can. Your actors are there that people love. You just need direction and you need good writing. That's it.
You spitting, bro. You spitting, bro. You are. That's true.
That's literally it. So it's like it's not you're not going to send in a savior, like one person to come in and resurrect, this property. I think you really need help from a huge. And if the community understands that, I think they will embrace that answer. Basically, that he doesn't want to continue this, and Warner Media has already shut it down. They say he's not going to continue this Snyderverse that everybody wants. But it's a good start. It is a good start.
Yeah,
4 hours or not. I mean, I was gonna ask you if this was half the runtime, would you still think would be a good project?
It wouldn't have gave us what we needed in that half the runtime like we got in the original Justice League. It was 2 hours. It didn't give us as much as we needed with it. And it actually took me 5 sittings to get through Snyder Cut.
I think I saw that. Yeah,
it took me a while to get through Snyder Cut, but I really enjoyed it overall. I wish it was released like a miniseries, like they originally said that it was going to be. They decided not to do that, and we're getting a whole lot of comments here. And I'm gonna do like a little speed run with these comments because we got like 50. We're backed up. Sorry if I don't get to your comment. And we're gonna start here. Devil Wears Prada is good. Yeah, it's great. Top 10. Some Devil Wears Prada love in the chat. Nice.
Yeah.
Doing a Disney live action remake ranking after this. That video will definitely have some memes thrown in there. Watching this mostly for Emma. Yeah. I don't know. My excitement level is kind of moderate with Do
you like Emma Stone?
Not really.
Oh no. Okay.
No, not really. I didn't like La La Land. And
that was what I still haven't watched.
Yeah, I didn't care for it, but I am going to revisit it to solidify my thoughts. But I know a whole lot of people like La La Land. And
it's interesting to hear that you rewatch movies so much, especially newer movies.
I don't know if I do that much. What?
I mean, you just in this conversation, you named that you rewatched. You rewatched a couple movies. Would you say? Oh, The Promising Young Woman. You said you rewatched.
Oh yeah, I watched that actually 4 times.
Oh geez. See, that's what I'm saying. Like for me, newer movies, it's really hard to rewatch things. Well, I mean, more recently, The Farewell, which I told you that I had a really good time. I was like, I want to own this, and I would want to rewatch it as soon as possible because it gave me so many vibes. So I mean, but I usually go back to rewatching the older, 80s, 90s movies, even early 2000.
Yeah. I remember that show, Once Upon a Time. My sister used to love that show. Yeah, it was.
I've never even heard of it.
It was on ABC, and it was just kind of like a guilty pleasure type of show. It had a lot of Disney characters, just kind of like living in this town, and yeah, it was some madness for sure. Let me see if there's any questions here.
Yeah, drop some questions in the chat for us, guys, if you have any.
Yeah. Kill Bill is awesome. I saw that that comment. I love Kill Bill, the first one. Let's see. And don't see any questions here. A lot of people back and forth. Eve in the chat, what's going on? I think you mentioned that she stopped by. Hopefully she's still here. What's going on? Thank you for stopping by. The Zack Snyder Justice League makes Justice League look like the biggest joke of all time. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. Justice League, but
yeah. It's gonna be tough for him to bounce back if he ever does, man. I've seen him just leaving projects left and right. So,
yeah. AJ, I love La La Land. It's probably my favorite musical of all time. I hear that a lot, and whenever I say I don't like La La Land, I get a lot of people looking at me crazy. And that's why I say I got to rewatch it. I got to revisit it because
Art say, "What does my shirt say?" Sorry.
Oh, Venom. Yeah.
Doesn't say womp womp.
AJ, watch La La Land Interrogation Room Scale on SNL. You're gonna love it. Okay, sure.
I feel like SNL sucks nowadays. I'm just not a fan
It's
of
definitely
the
not
newer
as
cast.
good. It's definitely not as good as it used to be. Definitely not as good. So only a few more topics left. Thoughts on Raya and the Last Dragon? I saw that you have a particular take on this film, and
yeah,
we're gonna talk about that.
A little hot take. So this is the thing. I've kind of Disney, man. I don't know. It's we want to talk about writing again. Going back to the writing of things, I feel like they do have a cookie cutter formula of creating these stories that have pretty much beat for beat the same storylines. I mean, yeah, we're building up this Mulan type of character. I understand it. The story is a little bit different, and this is the thing. The whole time, it was kind of tough for me to get through this movie because I really did want to. I saw people saying this was my favorite movie of the year so far, and I'm like, okay, what's happening? Like, it's either people really love movies that I hate or the opposite. But okay, the pros for this movie for me. Are we doing spoilers in this? Because I don't see a spoiler there. It just says thoughts on
yeah, we can do spoilers. We can do spoilers. Okay. So heads up, this is a little spoiler talk here. Let me add this. And
I was like, when you sent me the itinerary for everything, I was like, man, you're really gonna make me watch these, watch a lot of shows and movies and stuff. But
I thought you kept up on that. That's why. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, I kind of did, but just with the first time watches, I'm kind of carving out some time for that and editing a lot of things too, and then just life in general. But
hey, I get it. I get that.
Yeah. So me and my girl, we did actually throw this on. And she actually watched it all the way through. I kind of left it halfway through, and then I had to come back to it. So it's what I call a phone film, where if I tune out, I go on my phone, and that's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign.
Pros for this movie: the CGI, everything about this movie. Well, not CGI, but the animation. I will say is really good. It's really, really good. I thought the storyline in the beginning of the dragons and her getting away and trying to gather up the stones so that she could reverse what had happened in the beginning of the film, though along the way learning some life lessons. I thought that was very cookie cutter. It was very Disney cookie cutter. Like, yeah, we don't have too many dragons maybe in Disney stories, but we also do at the same time. That was a little different, but the whole thing about, I don't know, like finding yourself and then not trusting certain people, and it was very cookie cutter to me. Like, people thought it was deeper than I thought it was.
You bring up a good point.
So I thought it was I just thought it was average. That's the only thing I could say. I just thought it was average. And by the end of this movie, I hated every single side character they threw in this movie. Every single one.
Really?
So Awkwafina, trash. I thought it was so bad.
Don't do that.
Her character as it was that was the reason why I left in the middle of the movie.
Sisu.
Sisu.
Come on, don't do Sisu like that, man.
Hey, it looked visually cool, but the goofiness of her. Why does she do it? That's what I'm saying. I'm fresh off of watching the Farewell, and to go from that to this goofy token comedy character, it was such a step down. So I'm like,
that's what Awkwafina is, though. That's where she shines, though. Like, she is. That's what she doesn't. She's a comedian,
but I don't think she shines in that department. Like, I did not like her in Ocean's 8. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't care for her in that either.
She was not good in that.
I didn't care for that film at all.
Okay, the film was very subpar. Though I like me some Anne Hathaway in that movie. I'll just say that. For the outfit she's wearing, I'll just say that. But and then the Awkwafina comedy show that she has on
Nora
Comedy
from Queens.
Central, that wasn't that good either. To me, it was like the jokes were not. I much appreciated the side characters, like the dad and the grandma. I don't know. Did you see the show?
I watched it. I watched it all. Yes, it's on HBO Max.
Okay, see it wasn't like it was. That's why I'm like, if she wants to be a comedian, like you got to be funnier than what she is, man. Like,
But comedy is so subjective, you know.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
it is.
anybody could say that. Like anybody could say that's the reason why I didn't get it is because it wasn't my brand of humor. But it is my brand of humor. That's what I'm saying. Like I took away a lot of elements from that show of other characters than her in particular. But she's not only the reason why I didn't like this movie is that the baby character with the monkeys. Oh my god, that was come on, dog. Really?
I thought it was hilarious, man. I thought it was hilarious.
Disney is like at the bottom of the barrel creeping for characters. That was the bottom of the barrel characters, man.
Really?
That was so. That's okay. Most people thought that the bottom of the barrel characters for other Disney films were like the aliens from Toy Story. What were they? Those green ones that were like,
the aliens,
yeah. Which basically morphed into minions from Despicable Me. That's all they were the green minions, right? Basically. That's exactly what this baby was. That's all the baby was, the green alien.
I like the green aliens, though. What's with the green alien hate from Toy Story?
But it didn't spawn any movies.
That's true. Hey, that's true.
But the minions did. That's what I'm saying. Is like these were usually Disney has gotten very divisive with these. They'll create these little Yoda characters and they try to bank off of them. And I think for this movie, every Disney movie has a little formula to create this little lovable character, and that was one of them. I just personally didn't like it, and some of the other people along the journey. I thought Rhea, who was played by Kelly Marie Tran, I think it was.
I think that's
Star Wars.
Yeah,
Star Wars.
Yeah, Rose from Star Wars.
Rose from exactly. I thought she was fine. She was good. I think if they would have left all the damn comedy out, her story would have been fine.
Like, yeah, but that wouldn't. The families couldn't get into that if it didn't have any comedy. You gotta have some comedy to break the ice.
You don't have to have comedy. You have to have comedy in a Disney movie to fit the same mold. No, to fit the same mold as a Disney movie, you have to have comedy. That's not thinking outside the box, though.
Okay, I don't know about that, man. I think
just be honest. They wanted to make money. They just wanted to make money, so they added.
I mean, that's true. That's what any Disney property, though.
Yeah,
they want to make money with any Disney property. I feel like it wouldn't have gone as well as it did if they didn't have comedy in it.
For sure, because
with families, you know.
Well, this is the thing too, and I don't think we've gotten to a level as a society yet where we can watch a serious animated film. There's a lot of serious animated films. Like I understand Soul had a lot of comedy aspects of it, though it dealt with dark subject material like death and whatnot. But I think that movie had a lot of talking points that well, not you personally, but like families and stuff could talk to their kids about. Life after death, or just life on Earth, or living your best life. You know what I'm saying? Before that moment happened, like this could have went a very more serious tone, and it could have had talking points. But I understand they're out to bank, so they have the goofiest characters, like just spouting off at the mouth. And to me, it took these characters that looked visually amazing, and it made them stupid. It just made them really dumb and cheap to me. And to me, that cheapened the movie.
Okay.
I'm just on the opposite.
Respect that.
I might be the only one. I probably lost you some viewers right now. I think the chat went down. They tuned out.
It's okay. It's okay. I needed to hear this though. I needed to hear your thoughts on it.
But at the same time,
I was really curious to know what you didn't care for about it.
That was my hot take. Like you said, I posted it up in my story. What's up, Brando? Brando's in the building.
Brando, what's up?
Brando critic, yeah, man. I understand you, Dave. He's another one that has a lot of hot takes, man.
Did he not care for Raya? I feel like he liked Raya.
I don't know if he. Well, what I was gonna say is that overall, as a whole, by the end of the movie, I just thought it was an average Disney project. It was not my favorite. I would probably give it a 3 out of 5. Okay, I wouldn't give it a 5 out of 5. Like
that's not as bad as I thought you were going to give it. I thought you were going to give it like a 1.5.
No. I mean, I don't. Man, I'm trying to think of the last time I gave a movie. Oh, I think I gave Leprechaun a 1 out of 5.
That's probably. That's warranted.
Yeah, you know the reason why I gave that a 1 is because someone had the courage enough to make a movie out of that character. That's it. I mean, if you have the balls,
1 star.
Yeah, if you have the balls and the money to make a creative vision and you have heart into it, then hey, I'll give you at least 1 star, man. Yeah, see, and there you go. I mean, I hate to butcher it apart with the characters. And I'm not claiming to know every Pixar or Disney movie, but I've seen a lot of these characters redone, and I'm like, okay, I know what Disney's trying to do, and I just don't personally like that.
I feel you there. I get you, and I get that things can be a little cookie cutter. It could be a little cliche, but I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with the movie. I had fun with the journey. It was very adventurous. It was funny to me, and I got really emotional at the end. I don't know why it hit me like it did, but I think that's one reason why I gave it a 5 out of 5. Man, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I loved it, and you gave it a 3. So I guess we'll just leave that there.
No problem. No problem at all.
But I appreciate you giving your take though.
For sure.
I appreciate that. Okay, so moving on to our next topic, Falcon and Winter Soldier, the first episode.
Yes, sir.
You just watched it a few hours ago, man. What did you think?
I
gotta put you on blast.
And this is the funny thing is because a lot there was a couple people asking me like would I go on their lives and talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episodes, and I was like, honestly, I haven't even caught up to the I haven't even caught up to it, so I really couldn't make an obligation to do that. The only reason I was doing that is because just once again things happen in my life, so I'm making time for other things. And I'll be honest, I was still when I first saw, I'll start off with WandaVision. When I first saw that, after the first couple of episodes, I was getting so hyped that I was like, I wish they had dropped this all at once so I could binge it. That's the thing.
Okay.
And I don't like to binge watch shows. That's the funny part. I don't like to binge watch. But in that instance, at the end of that, like episode 9 or whatever the last episode was, I was like, for the next one, I wish they would have had just dropped it all at once. I don't want to have to carve out an hour. I want to watch I want to watch these shows on my own time because one, people are all going to review it on that Friday. That's the thing.
It's true.
So if you do get invited to something, you're obligated to watch it that day.
You have to watch it that day.
Dude,
yes.
People were telling me WandaVision season finale. People were texting me at 5 a.m. Did you watch it? 5 a.m. I'm wiping the crusties out of my eyes. 5 a.m. Like, I understand the fandom for staying up till midnight or 3 a.m. or whenever you guys saw it. But we couldn't do that. First of all, my girlfriend and I were watching it, so we watch it after work when she came back for dinner, like around dinner time. So I like watching it on my own time and not having to obligate it. Now, that being said, jumping to this, when I finally watched it, I was like, holy crap. Like, this was so powerful of a first episode. I want it all. And that's why
I agree.
That's why it's hard for me to carve. I'm going to watch this every Friday now.
So after that first episode, I felt the same way. I'm ready to every Friday sit down and watch it. With WandaVision, I wasn't really feeling that way, but I did have some like obligations to be on lives and stuff like that. So I was watching it each Friday, and I was enjoying it for the most part. At the beginning, I was wanting all the episodes to drop. I was kind of the opposite of you. At the beginning, I wanted every episode to drop like at the same time, but towards the end of the series, I was like, I kind of like watching this week by week. It gives a different feel for the MCU. The MCU, you don't get every week type of thing, for these films. You have to wait a few months or a year for the next film. So like waiting a week to watch each episode, I kind of like that. And I'm excited for that for Falcon and Winter Soldier for sure.
Yeah, it gives you something to root for and look forward to at the end of the week, And Brandon, if he's still in here, we were talking about, cancel culture, spoiler culture of just the whole fact that, literally when it drops, that episode that day, you'll see some of your favorite, YouTubers dropping spoilers like on their IG or in their YouTube thumbnail, and that's not cool. Like, know what I'm saying? Like, it really depends. Like, for those of us, I know you can say, well, then turn off social media. For some of us, we can't. Like, like I'm on here to, on my Instagram to push out news. That's what I've converted my Instagram to, is a complete news outlet. So if I have to be on here and I accidentally run across your, page, if I'm scrolling, it's gonna suck. I'm not saying F you to that person. I'm just saying that if the shoe
That's
was on
not
the
cool.
other foot, you would get
Yeah.
pissed too. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. And they're
So
like, well, I stay up till 3 a.m. So
yeah, and it's like, well, I'm deep asleep because I have a life. Sorry, I'm
Right.
sorry. Like, what do you want me to like? I have a job. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh shoot, yeah.
I can't
Can't
do
do
that.
that.
So
Right.
in
I get that
yeah,
completely.
in a perfect world for me, I would love to just stay home and carve out like my schedule. Okay, I'm gonna have my breakfast and watch, Falcon and the Winter Soldier when it drops on Friday morning, and then do this and then do that. But unfortunately, we have to work around other people's schedules. So that's my only gripes with dropping it, every week, I guess. But it does
Mhm.
get you something to look forward to. But in the long run, you know what? MCU has created something fantastic here with Disney, where they're gaining so many subscribers, they're getting people talking, and they're getting people to really invest themselves in these shows through a pandemic. Because
Yeah.
what was it last year? We didn't get any MCU movies
No MCU. No
at
MCU
all.
content.
Yeah, no. So to fill the gaps of this year until we get Black Widow, and then we're getting Shang-Chi, and then ending the year off with Spider-Man 3. They're filling in the gaps with a lot of this show content that's blowing up. I really didn't think
Yeah.
that WandaVision was going to do what it did, but it did it.
I didn't
So
either. I was like, these
yeah.
are like two of the lowest characters in the MCU, and this show is not going to be as big as everybody's saying it is, and
Yeah.
it blew up, man.
Yeah.
It really did.
Wanda for me was always a character that I really knew was extremely powerful, because once I finally saw her on screen in Avengers, was it 2, Age of Ultron, I wanted to do my backstory, so I looked her up and I was like, this is a very powerful character with a cool story arc. So I'm glad she finally got her. Well, it's not a solo movie, but like a solo project. You know what I mean?
Same
and we're definitely going to see a lot more of her, obviously, in Doctor Strange 2 and whatnot. But going back to this episode alone, I knew it was going to be more of a introduction episode. So with that mega intro that we got, which felt like a Mission Impossible movie. I don't know if you got the same vibes.
Yeah. It felt like a classic action film.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah,
I enjoyed. I heard some gripes that the first episode didn't have very much action in it, but I would probably disagree with that. It was a lot at the beginning, a lot more at the beginning, and then they started, building on these characters a lot more throughout the episode and towards the middle to end of the episode. But I thought the action was dope. Especially like when Bucky came in, he grabbed that man through the wall. I was just like, whoa.
In the flashback scene?
Yeah, in the nightmare scene.
Nightmare scene.
Flashback. Yeah, it was a nightmare / flashback. But
I think it was more of a nightmare. You're right. But yeah, that was the cool part too, is that people can say, there's not enough action. And that's once again them going back to I think Kevin Feige and the team behind Marvel, they're really trying to not reinvent the wheel, but they're trying to change their own brand of Marvel, because Marvel's so used to having so much action along the way with developing these characters. They're going to say, okay, we're going to give you spurts of action, but realize that we're dealing with a show format now. We're not dealing with a movie. You're watching, I think we're getting 6 episodes or something at
6 episodes.
Yeah, 40 to 50 minutes each one. So we're talking about, we're going to see a lot of action. Don't worry. Like, we're going to see a lot of action.
We'll get there.
But at the same time, there's going to be character development. So I think what I'm trying to say is that there's just enough action per episode is what I think we're going to get with these future episodes. But the introduction, I thought it was great of seeing the power of Falcon's power, because I think not his power, but his the full extent of his skills and the suit. That was another thing, is that we got to see that a little more to light, because I think people like to throw Falcon in like the category of like not so, I don't know, maybe not so favored character, but he's kind of like a disposable character, I guess.
A little bit disposable, a little on the back burner, a back burner character.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad that he's finally getting. I mean, we see how big he is in this poster, and people more than anything, I think, were like, he's the first thing I heard when they're talking about this show is he's the new Captain America. Well, we don't know that yet. We still don't know that, because he's even said, well, if I am, like, it's not in the script yet. Like, he's even saying, like, he's saying he doesn't know. And I think even Kevin Feige came out and said he's not, or he confirmed that he's not, that's not what it is, at least yet. Yeah. So we're getting a little bit just of his own personal journey, as well as Bucky, which is cool. I mean, it's awesome that we're getting to see a character go through therapy. I don't know if we've seen that before. So
when I tell you that this is all that I wanted from Bucky, I was a Bucky hater before this first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. No, I'm serious. I did not like Bucky at all. The Winter Soldier was like probably my least favorite Avenger. And I was just like, because he's bland. He's like, he doesn't have any emotion. He doesn't really have any like flair to him. And it just, the character fell so flat to me, and it seemed like he didn't really have remorse for what he was doing. Even though like he's saying, oh, I didn't know what I was doing when I was brainwashed and things like that. It didn't seem like he truly had remorse. But him with the notebook and like crossing off the names, trying to right his wrongs, and like going to therapy and like digging deep and soul searching, that's really all I wanted from this character. Now I'm a Bucky stan. I'm a Bucky fan now. So
well, there you go. So, yeah, no, that was cool about the booklet, crossing it off, because I think that's also a step like in like Alcoholics Anonymous, or like one of those like programs where like you have to basically apologize to the people that you wronged. Yeah. That's a huge part of it. So that is important, showing that these people are also humans, if not, above that. Because I mean, they're known. I mean, we saw in that scene where he went with Sam went with his sister, I think, to go get a loan.
Yeah, his sister.
Yeah, and then the guy immediately was like, "Oh, can I take a picture with you?" Like spreading spreading your arms out, and like that's
right.
They're known as just being in the limelight as superheroes, especially if they don't really have masks on and whatnot. So it's interesting to see the flip side of that they're actually dealing with things, and that they need therapy for. Because I mean, all the stuff they're going through is traumatic stuff, whether they're soldiers or not. They're going through war. I mean, that whole first action sequence was crazy. Like, it was like him just trying to catch up to the bad guys and without getting hit with the missiles. Like, he was getting over. Yeah. Dude, there was a scene where he was getting like just bombarded with like all these villains coming at him, and I was like, I was like, how is he gonna get out of this right now?
Yeah, it seemed impossible, but it was dope the way it played out. One thing I was gonna ask you about this series is, how do you feel about like the killing? I feel like there was a lot of deaths in this first episode, and a lot by the hands of Sam. Yeah. I was watching it and I was like, wow, there's like, he just blew up that helicopter. There's people still in it. Like,
yeah, that's not that. Usually off-screen kills are more, I guess, in the PG-13 Marvel world, whereas like, I mean, the pilot did get shot, but that was by his own guy. Like, he got like shot to the back. Remember that? And they actually showed the bullets like going through him. Yeah. And that was kind of like, once I saw that, I was like, they're going for like more of a hard PG-13 in this, because I didn't know the route they were going to go either. But now that I know that, I'm kind of like on board with that, because I like to see more realistic action fighting sequences like that.
I'm on that same train too, because I don't know. With WandaVision, it felt kind of a little kiddie.
It was very PG, especially at the end.
Very PG. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't use the word kiddie, but it was very PG, and that was the rating for it. After the episode, I went back and looked at the WandaVision rating, because I'd never really looked at that closely. And it was TV PG, and then I looked at Falcon and Winter Soldier as TV 14. So I was like, okay, they're really trying to push the envelope, with the kills and stuff like that, because they don't really show that much killing in the MCU, really.
I mean, if it is like, if it is, I mean, it's off-screen kills, or it's like cutaway shots, or like you said, like explosions that you see, but you know that people were in there, but they won't show like you won't see body parts flying or anything like that.
No, no.
Which, you know what? If they ever went hard like PG-13 with it, like I always wanted like a solo movie of the Hulk just kind of like ripping someone in half, raw, just going crazy, like kind of like the Juggernaut did in Deadpool, like when he went.
You think that,
obviously it's an R, rating, but I would love to see that, even if they did it off screen where he just got so furious where he ripped someone in half, and then like imagine like Hulk had to go to therapy for his rageaholics. Like,
I don't know about that. I don't. You think they'll ever do something like that?
No, probably not. But
I think and now we got Professor Hulk, so I don't think he's.
That's definitely not happening. Yeah, he's gonna kill someone with an equation before he kills someone with a pen.
right. So wrapping this topic up, what would you give this episode out of 10?
Oh, out of 10? This was a solid, I would say it's a solid 8 out of 10, because even though I said that it had just enough action, it did tone down a little bit towards, once we got the introduction of Sam's sister and whatnot, where he was kind of like trying to help her out. He's letting it be known that family is here for you. I think most of the action that we got was in the beginning, and then maybe seeing like that nightmare sequence, obviously, and then but at the same time, even like the development of Bucky with the, is it like his neighbor or something? It's the older man that he's like kind of like.
No, it was actually, so the nightmare scene was a flashback of something that happened, and he killed the old guy's son. So he's trying to I think kind of apologize for that, trying to make up for that. So I don't think it's his neighbor though.
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to like, at first I was like, why would he be hanging around the same vicinity as him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I thought when he was talking to that guy in the alley, I thought they were kind of neighbors or something like that. But yeah, no, I realized once he saw, like he went into his house, he saw like the picture of him on the mantle and whatnot, that he is trying to do that. And we're getting into deeper elements. I hope that the Marvel community embraces that it's not going to be just pure action. That's the thing, is that as these episodes develop, we're going to start getting our obviously like the Baron Zemo. We're going to get, I forget the character's name on the bottom, the female character here, and then we're
Sharon Carter.
Okay, as well as a U.S. agent played by Wyatt Russell, I believe, and then see his involvement. But we didn't even talk about him. What do you think about him? I mean, that was a cliffhanger that we left off on.
Yeah, I'm eager to see more. I don't know much about his character at all, so I want to kind of keep it that way and kind of just, go into it not knowing, because if I know it, I feel like it will take away from, whatever they have in store. So I did enjoy the cliffhanger though. It was it was wild.
A lot of memes came out with with the way that they didn't like the way his suit looked. Basically, they thought it looked very old school. And I don't know if you saw the one, someone put the U.S. agent mask on like the grandpa from Up.
They
said his face looked like that. I was like, oh damn. It was. I mean, it did look a little like bootleg. I think even Brando said Falcon and the Winter Soldier better not be a Captain America light. I think he's talking about more of like Captain America being kind of like in the forefront, I guess, is like, I don't want him to like, it's good to keep the memory out there. And I think there's still talk of like, is Captain America actually dead? Is he gone? Because if you're following the Avengers thing, they didn't show him die. They just showed him old. So this is supposed to be what I can only assume is years later. I would still think he might be alive still. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sam
I think he is. Sam is a murderer. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was so weird to see.
But this is war though. He's not trying to like be. He's not. I wouldn't classify him as a superhero yet. I don't know. What do you think?
Sam as a superhero? Yeah, I would definitely classify him as a superhero.
I classify him as more of a soldier.
I mean, technically, yeah, he's both. I mean, he was part of the Avengers,
but at the same time, like soldiers get into situations where they have to protect the greater good, and sometimes that's not always superhero-y. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't. It doesn't go. It goes against the grain sometimes. It's not by the book. If someone's shooting at you, and you have a gun too, you're going to shoot back. You're not going to like try to get them in handcuffs and you're coming with me, robber. Like it's not going to be like that all the time. Like things happen. And I think in this situation where all he had was his shield and he doesn't even have any weapons. Like what I was trying to like figure out was like more of his weaponry. Like all he had was that pack on his back, which he called it something. I forgot what it was called.
I forget what it's called too.
Yeah,
Brandon might know.
Yeah, he activated it, and it was kind of like, it looked like a drone. It was basically like a high-tech drone, and it was cool. But he basically had a shield, and he was like fighting people hand-to-hand combat. And I mean, I would love to see him get more weapons. I mean, didn't we see like in Civil War or one of the movies where he had like a machine gun? He was flying with the machine gun.
Yeah. Infinity War, I think. I think he was mowing down the aliens in Wakanda.
Yeah.
I think that would be dope.
You better bring those back, man. That was tight.
That'd be dope. Yes.
Yeah. But I like
Brandon says WandaVision worked because it was new, fresh, and unique. Falcon and Winter Soldier so far just feels like another Captain America movie.
But to me, there's nothing wrong with that, though.
I feel like this is what we need from these characters. It does kind of feel like more on the order of, you know, a Captain America film. It does, but I don't know, like the sequences of events that are happening is what we need from these characters. You know, that if that makes sense. Especially Bucky for me, because that was just one of my biggest hangups is like, we need more depth from Bucky. We need something more from him. Because even in his own, you know, he was the Captain America and the Winter Soldier. He was in 15 minutes of the film. He was it had 15 minutes of screen time, and I wanted more depth from that character. Yeah. So we got that here in this first episode. I love the way it's going. I would give it a 9 out of 10 this episode. I really enjoyed it, and I put on Instagram on my Insta story. I went in with low expectations. I think that really helped with my enjoyment because, you know, it exceeded my expectations, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
Okay, see, I went in the reverse, man. I was high expectations because I saw that trailer and I got pumped up.
Yeah, the trailer didn't really do much for me, to be completely honest with you, with the Migos and, you know, them doing the staring contest. I was just cool like, it was cool, but it was just like, it feels so like Brandon was saying, it feels so Captain America. It doesn't seem like we're getting much from these characters, maybe just some jokes, and, you know, they're going to be buddy cop, you know, buddy partners or whatever, but it's going to be the same old. But like with this first episode, it showed me something different.
Yeah,
for sure. Brando, what you saying, bro? You said, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. I just hope that it still feels unique, fresh, and exploring these characters. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like,
sorry about that. I had to let my cat out.
Oh, it's okay. It's cool. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I feel like they're giving a more unique take on the characters rather than the feel of the overall show. Yeah. You know, the feel of the overall show does feel like very cinematic, very Captain America-esque, but with the development of these characters, that's where you get your uniqueness.
And that's what I think most of us wanted, especially after WandaVision, with WandaVision having that lack of action. Like even in the finale, it was fine, but it was very, very PG. Like you said, I mean, it was like there could have been so much more. As much as I really want to see Agatha more, they could have had more extreme battle than that. You know? Something that I feel, okay, going back to WandaVision a little bit, something that I feel like we should have had in WandaVision is higher stakes. I feel like there weren't high enough stakes. Agatha, she didn't feel like much of a threat to me. I feel like Scarlet Witch, I could see her defeating Agatha so easily, even though she was kind of like in her head, in her mind, and, you know, kind of psyching her out a little bit. But it just didn't seem like anything was at stake. There were no, you know, people, civilians, the world, the universe wasn't at stake. Like nothing like that was at stake. So it was just like, you know, it didn't feel like we, you know, like the villain was heavy hitting enough. That was just me.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, they were trapped in their own world of Westview and whatnot. So I mean, I just think she was a character that was a little different. I mean, she kind of balanced the comedy and the crazy really
And I
well.
love that. I loved that.
Yeah, and it was also what I could only, imagine as our first introduction to like Harry Potter into the MCU. I mean, other than now that we know that Scarlet Witch, I mean, her name is Scarlet Witch, but
Right.
now we're finally noticing, the whole backstory. If you guys haven't seen WandaVision, sorry, but that she is an actual witch and she was part of that whole, like, she knew who she was, like she knew about the legend is true, basically, about
Right.
her.
Basically, yes.
So I like that. I liked seeing a little more than what we knew on the surface level. We got to know a little bit more about Wanda, and that's what I wanted to see from the show. Even though it was different, like Brando said, it was fresh and unique, and that's what worked. That's what ended up being, I think, the takeaway from the show. And then this kind of coming up next, even though I thought it was way too soon to get into another one, like I could have waited a whole nother month until I
could have
saw
waited
this.
a month or maybe like 3 months. I probably could have waited maybe 3 months for this show.
Yeah.
After WandaVision, this kind of just diving into another show really quickly, and Loki is not that far behind. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know how I feel about that.
That's another thing too. Is it feels a little rushed because well, I didn't even tell you, but like as of tomorrow, when I told you we're going back to the theaters, so I plan on Fridays to start doing new reviews again.
Ooh,
so
okay.
that
cool.
So new movie reviews basically.
Right,
I used to do them on the channel and stuff like that. Then I stopped. But I am going to give our take on new movies when we go see them in the theaters or if we see them here at home, over the weekend streaming. But this is just like another added, you know what I'm saying? Like another one of these shows that I had to add to the program. But I don't think I'm going to add that into the repertoire, but it is something more I got to watch,
Got you. Got you. So moving on to our next topic, is our last topic, things that we've been watching and / recommendations. So I chose one thing that I've been watching, and I watched the first season of it, and I did a review. It's on my Instagram, and it's called The Servant, and it is a show on Apple TV Plus that is, I believe, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. And with Shyamalan, it's a lot of hit or miss for me personally. I didn't care for Glass. Unbreakable was okay. I loved Split. So certain things are kind of hit or miss with Shyamalan, but this one I really enjoyed the first season. I am going to get into the second season next week, hopefully. Probably just finish it up. It's only 10 episodes a season, and it's about a couple that they have a baby. The baby unfortunately passes away, and the mom is dealing with it very harshly. She's not dealing with it well at all. So she is recommended a doll for like a replacement to kind of like get over her grief or whatever. And, they invite this nanny in to take care of the doll to, kind of keep up the facade or whatever. And then things get a little crazy. I don't want to give away too much, but the baby comes back alive some type of way. And, it's just odd, but it's kind of one of those mystery box type of shows where, and after WandaVision, I was really wanting a show to keep me on edge and like keep me, into the mystery of it. And this show definitely delivered on that. My buddy, Film Explorel, did a review of the second season. It just ended, I think, last week. And he didn't care for the second season. So I'm a little apprehensive about watching the second season. I don't know if I liked how the first season ended, but the first season overall was great. So that's my take on Servant. Have you heard of this show? Or
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah. Do you have Apple TV Plus?
I don't. No, I don't.
I don't think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I've seen a couple of the. I could have sworn I've seen a couple of the movies, like The Banker, and then what other movies they come out with? Because they've had a couple so far.
They had On the Rocks, I believe, with Bill Murray.
I
Bill
didn't see that.
Murray.
Oh, that was Bill Murray and God, what's her name? Rashida Jones.
Rashida Jones. Yep.
That I saw that one. I know I didn't see that one. I'm sorry. I saw the trailer for that one,
Saw
but
it. And then there was another one, a war film with Tom Hanks.
Oh, Sully.
No.
I'm sorry. That's
Greyhound. Yeah.
Wrong.
Sully.
Tom Hanks. Yeah. That's the one.
Tom Hanks. He's been in a lot of stuff.
I'm fried.
He has
yeah.
been.
No, I haven't seen too much from. I could have sworn there was something out come recently that I'd seen. Oh, Palmer. That's what we saw. That's one with Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake. Yeah, I think that was an Apple TV Plus original.
That was a really. I really enjoyed that movie. Did you check that out?
And then I haven't seen it. No. And then Cherry just dropped too. Tom Holland.
Oh, I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews about that.
Yeah, I heard mostly bad reviews for that. Okay. I haven't heard much mixed, just a lot of bad. So
I mean,
I'm very apprehensive.
Yeah, Tom Holland and Russo. It's kind of hard to believe that turned into a bad movie, but right. I mean,
that's how I feel. I'm like this. I feel like the dynamic trio is back at it, but nah, I was a little apprehensive anyway, a little bit, but now that I hear all these negative reviews, I kind of stepping back a little bit. I could maybe wait to the summer to watch it. I don't know.
Well, that's
when I have some time.
That's another reason why I stop. And hey, no diss to Brando Critic, but I don't watch your reviews until after I watch the movie because sometimes, like just looking at the thumbnail or looking at someone's score will definitely persuade me to watch or not watch the movie. And unfortunately, that's just kind of what's ingrained in us. I mean, we see someone going like thumbs down, like obviously it's not going to be a good take. And we're like, oh shit, we were looking forward to Mission Impossible 34. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, guess not. If so-and-so doesn't like it, then we're not going to like it either.
Impossible 34.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like that's the only thing is that's why I've kind of stepped away from movie reviews because they do get lost in a sea of like everybody else's stuff, especially if people do get it early. But I think with the reopening of theaters, this is the thing too, man. It's like we as critics should really be doing two separate styles of reviews. We should be doing like watching it at home review and watching it in the theater review because I feel like we are definitely going to get a different take.
Like, yeah, for sure.
Like I understand as a whole, you're gonna absorb what the movie's about and stuff like that. But there's some parts that they implement only for that theater experience, especially if it's an action movie. Like they want you to experience it a certain way. So if you're not, it's gonna drop your score down. And that's why I'm saying like it's really hard to kind of know what you're getting yourself into based on where you're gonna see it at.
Yeah, that's true. I never really thought about it like that, but you're right about that for sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's Servant. And I know that you watched The Farewell not too long ago, and you enjoyed it a lot. So just give us a brief, your brief thoughts about the Farewell.
Yeah, for sure, man. So this is a movie that came out in 2019. I believe the woman that wrote this, it was based on pretty much her true life story about her grandma as well. And her name's drawing a blank right now, but I couldn't tell you why I didn't catch this one back in 2019. I remember that everyone was saying it got snubbed at the Oscars. I remember that when it did come out. And then I think just more stuff started coming out from Awkwafina that I just really buried this one like in the back. And I was like, oh God, like I just don't like her at all whatsoever. So I'm probably not going to like this movie. So something came on TV or something came on YouTube. And I was like, you know what? We still haven't seen The Farewell. Let's watch it. And we ended up, I think it might be on Prime or one of these streamings and played it. And I didn't even know it was an A24 movie. As soon as I saw that, man, I was like, okay, we're in for a good movie. I absolutely love A24. Wow. Like,
and
I really
A24 you trust, huh?
Exactly, man. I haven't seen really a bad A20. I've seen average A24 movies, but they're always average or above average for me.
I would agree. I would completely agree with that.
I love A24. I haven't seen a bottom tier A24. I mean, I can't say the same for Blumhouse. You know what I mean?
Blumhouse? Yeah.
Yeah, man. So going into this, I did kind of know, we did see the trailer beforehand, so I kind of knew what it was going to be about, subject nature. Unfortunately, the timing of this hits like really close to home. I have a grandma that's dying of cancer right now,
Yeah.
and the only difference is she's not going to make it in this story. The grandma does make it. We find out miraculously she has stage 4 cancer, and she does end up, through whatever grace of whatever, like they let you know at the end of the movie she does make it. And but the whole central point of the Eastern way of thinking, because they do tackle the whole Western and Eastern, and sometimes it's a little preachy, but in this instance it was a little appreciated, because there was one part where they said that's one thing about Eastern and Western is like we care more. It felt like they were saying we care more about family than the Western does. And like, I will say this, that it's so easy in America to get just saturated with work and different things, right? That's going on in your life, friends and stuff like that we do forget about family. But I think that's just like the American workflow ethic. Like, we're just so used. I grind every day. I'm hustling. I got 5 different jobs just to make ends meet. Right.
Right.
So I think in that case, because certain people work so much, they become workaholics, that they do forget about family. But I don't think that they care about their family any less. I just think that sometimes life is overbearing. Whereas in these cultures, it seems like they do, like, that's priority one. That is priority one. At least that's what they made it seem like in this movie. So the whole, circle was the lie. Everybody was trying to keep their circle tight with this lie of the grandma dying, and they let it be known that, yeah, this is kind of like a thing that we do. We don't tell them, that they have this illness, because we want to. It's a good lie, is what I think the doctor said, is that it's a good lie, because we just want to be there for her. I think the uncle said it best. He says, we're here to hold the burden for her. That's the thing. Yeah, like, we're here to hold the sorrow for her. And I thought that was great. The writing in this is fantastic. Like,
it is. And I think the dialogue was great as well.
Yeah.
Dialogue was really great.
Really well done. The shots were really well done. Like, there was a couple moments where the way that the camera was positioned, it invoked so much emotion. I was like, dude, these shots alone were like Oscar winning. Like, it was, there's something about like even this one right here where they're walking towards the camera, and like certain moments, there's also a moment where they're at the cemetery, like all bowing, like the way they're all positioned, it gives you a certain emotion, it gives you a certain feel. It does. And I think the director captured this perfectly. And it's not like actiony or anything like that. Like, it's just about people, and it's about the subject nature. And I thought this movie was perfect. 5 out of 5 at the end of it, I like the way it ended and everything.
It was great. I enjoyed it. I think I saw it the end of last year. And I was kind of working as well. And I was watching it and working. So I feel like I missed some of it. So I gave it a 4 out of 5, I think. But I feel like if I do rewatch it, I will give it that 5 out of 5, because I did enjoy it a lot from what I saw of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I appreciate you breaking down your thoughts on the film, and gave it a 5 out of 5. Nice.
And once again, before I leave off with this review, is that I really, at the end, I was like, why is Awkwafina not doing more serious roles like this?
I think she enjoys doing comedy a lot more than these types of films.
If it's a personal preference, I understand that, but at the same time, I think that there has to be a fan base of people that appreciate her dramatic work. Like, because there was comedy elements in this. Like, her character, she's always going to be like that person that has like the last like funny word. Like, she was saying like funny lines to her mom and stuff like that, even though there was a lot of serious. They made it seem like also in her culture, and like in China, like, you don't even joke about like anything really. Right. Like, it was very serious tone stuff. But she was still adding her like New York wit like in there, right? Which I appreciated. Like, I like the balance of that. Now, when it's pure slapsticky, just like, hey, like, you're almost like a goofy cartoon.
Like, right?
You know yeah, like exactly. You're what was the dragon name?
Sisu.
Sisu, yeah. You're basically a Sisu, like in every single role you play now.
So. I mean, yeah, I do. I will say that Awkwafina does have a little bit of typecast, way about her. But The Farewell was a great way to showcase her acting talent. Yeah. And I would like to see a lot more serious roles. Maybe not serious, but like more dramatic roles from her.
Well, I think if you want to be at least in the nominees for, Oscars or Academy Awards, you have to start doing those pictures like that. Like, it's very rare and few that we see Borat subsequent movie getting nominated. Like, who the hell thought that was going to happen, right?
It was because it was 2020, man. It was a weird year for film.
Yeah.
It was a weird.
Yeah, so but usually lightning doesn't strike twice for films like that. So if she wants to get serious, she needs to do kind of like what Emma Stone doing, step out of that comedy lane a little bit, do more dramatics, do more things that are gonna I guess just stress your acting ability and just stretch it. Like I mean, Jim Carrey tried to do that. Robin Williams did that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I believe if she wants to be, this is just me personally, if she wants to be taken as a serious actress, she's gonna have to do more roles like that.
And I think her more serious role, like in this film, was a lot better received than her comedy roles. To be honest, I think
usually in the comedy role she's in she's always a side character, always a co-star. She's like Crazy Rich Asians co-star, Ocean's 8 co-star. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything she's kind of playing a co-star. She hasn't really got that.
Jumanji. She was in Jumanji too.
Oh, I didn't even watch that. So I'm guessing she was a co-star on that.
Yeah,
or a cameo, whatever.
It was.
Yeah.
So yeah. The Farewell. Do you have any other recommendations that you've been watching lately? Anything else you've been watching lately? Shows, movies? Before we wrap it up here.
Nothing really that I could recommend. We kind of watch this like funny shows like randomly on HBO Max. Like there's like hidden prank shows like the Carbonaro Effect. Have you seen that?
Yes. I didn't know that was on HBO Max, but I watched it when it was on TV. I don't know if it's still
TV,
on.
Yeah,
True TV.
I think they ended it, but it was, dude, it's hilarious. We're getting to like the last couple of seasons. It is hilarious. Like we watch random stuff like
people's
that.
Faces. It is hilarious.
I'm convinced he's like one of the best magicians I've ever seen, because I grew up on like Chris Angel, David Blaine, stuff like that. So that was like more serious, like magic stuff, I guess. And to see this guy like take it like on a prank level and all the reactions, I was like, dude, how is he doing this? Like, how is he really doing this? So we watch stuff like that around like dinner time or like when we're going to bed or whatever like that, and just random YouTube stuff. And honestly, I'm more watching just like YouTube tutorials to try to get better with my channel. If I'm not like watching like the weekly, I'm going to jump back on the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I usually just try to watch these movies in my own time. So I won't watch them usually on day one. I'll let them marinate a little bit to kind of get off the hype of everyone else watching it at the same time. So yeah, I'm just watching like the weekly stuff.
It really does affect your like enjoyment and the way you perceive the film or slash show, everybody's hype level and stuff like that. So
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I don't know if I feel like you got to see the Snyder Cut. You got to see the Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think you have to experience that.
Do I need to watch like the Superman versus Batman v Superman before that?
Yeah, you should, but
that's like 6 hours of movie.
That's a lot. That's a lot of content. It is a lot of content. I admit
the whole day. Yeah,
but you might not want to watch them back to back, but I think you should eventually see them, even if it's like the summer or you just carve some time out to watch them. But it is definitely an experience. I'll tell you that. I think you will enjoy it. If you're a fan of superheroes and superhero films and things like that, I think it's probably a must watch for people like that.
We had this, but before we leave, we had this discussion on, I think last week actually, on Levels of Geeks with Alex, and we were going at it, man. He was going. He had his money on Batman, and I had my money on Iron Man, and we were clashing like the battle of the billionaires, like who was a better. I guess who was a better billionaire? So who would you say? I wanted to ask you.
Who's a better billionaire?
Iron Man. But we're talking about literally everything that has to do with Iron Man, like his movies, the Avengers movies, any involvement he has, with the MCU, as well as Batman. We're talking about all the Batman movies. We're talking about
right.
Like, what do you think is a better, I guess, franchise and like hero? I guess because my whole thing was that I thought hero. Well, I mean, you can, movies, hero, whatever you want to say, because I thought Iron Man is the ultimate. I think his tech is just genius.
Yeah, it is. I do it. I agree that his tech is better than Batman's,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Batman is a much more well-rounded character,
Mm-hmm.
and just like I don't know, I'm trying to think of in the sense of a better a better billionaire. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
hard for me to like
Yeah,
think
because they don't
about
have
it in
they
that
don't have
perspective.
superpowers. That's why
That's true.
I never considered him a superhero. I just considered him a vigilante
He is a
because
villain. Well, basically all heroes are vigilantes.
no, well, I'm saying when I say superhero, they have to have some level of superhuman ability. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
true.
like superpowers. Batman doesn't have any of that. Neither does Iron Man.
Yeah, neither one of them have superhuman abilities.
Yeah,
No. But
so
I
that's
would
why I thought
say
it was a
that
good matchup.
it's a great matchup. And I think Batman Iron Man definitely does have better tech and a way cooler tech than
Yeah.
Batman. But like I said, I think Batman just has more just more well-rounded as a character.
Okay.
Um I just
Who?
personally I enjoy his story a lot more than Iron Man's.
Okay. And who's your favorite Batman?
Oof. As far as live action,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Ooh, high five, my friend.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, because Alex kept saying Batfleck, and I'm like,
No,
dude,
what?
Christian Bale's the ultimate. He's like,
I know
what?
that.
No.
I know Alex loves Batfleck, but I'm just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
nah. I mean, I don't hate Batfleck, but it's just
That's just a funny name.
it's not
Batfleck.
my Batman. Not my Batman.
Hashtag not my Batman. No,
Hashtag not my Batman.
no, I hear you, buddy. I guess it's just some of the characters that never really got me sucked into the DC world is why I didn't really watch them. So, and Luke is saying Pattinson's already the best Batman, even though he didn't want to be there. He even said that he almost didn't complete that movie, that Matt Reeves movie.
Really? He said
Yeah,
that?
he didn't even want to be like him and Reeves were like button heads, like they were not coming to any agreement. With a
Wow.
lot of the scenes, and he almost I could have sworn they said that he almost left like the set a couple of times.
Dang, I didn't realize that.
So I don't even think he
Wow.
wanted to be there.
I wonder if they're gonna make any other films with him then. Any other Batman films with him?
Yeah, I don't
Doesn't
know.
seem likely now.
I mean, the way they recast this guy so many times, Batman, it's like
Yeah.
Recasting can really hurt, I think, a property.
Luke said he thought that was a fake rumor. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Nowadays,
I hadn't heard anything like that. That's kind of crazy, and it kind of sucks because it might have some effect on how the film actually, like actually plays out. So, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it is rumor, but yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up. We almost at 2 hours, man. It's always a blast having you on here and just discussing things with you. And monthly movie talk, March. And it was pretty fitting because got the birthday boy on here.
My birthday month, man. Yeah.
Your birthday month. So tell the people where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Yeah, for sure. You guys can find me on YouTube at Flix Talk, Flix Talk. Also on Instagram at Flix Talk. I'm over on Twitter, also on Facebook at Flix Talk Podcast. I'm more on Instagram though, guys. So if you want to know all the latest and greatest in movie and entertainment news, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Flix Talk. And as far as my YouTube channel, I'm going to start doing movie reviews as well as a lot of first-time watches. I kind of go back to the 80s, 90s, and just watch a lot of films that I haven't kind of caught for whatever reason, and I watch them kind of live and record my reactions and my thoughts along the way, as well as just kind of getting into more of the out and about vlogs. I am a huge collector of, either DVDs, just physical media, Blu-ray, 4Ks, and I love to get a deal. So I show you guys always the best deals, and that kind of jumps to my new segment on Mondays. I'm going to be dropping upcoming physical media, guys. That's a segment that I have. It's about 20 minutes long or so, where I let you guys know about new pre-orders, new movies that are coming out on Tuesday, as well as the best deals currently on the internet. So, because I like to save you guys money as well as myself to kind of just add to your shelf life. And guys, just join me along my movie hunting journey.
Nice. Very well put. So
Thank you.
yeah, I'm AJ of AJREACTS2, and I react to all these things right here. And yeah, so as far as what's coming up on my channel, I've been trying to do some trailer reactions, things like that. Things have been kind of getting bogged down, so I have been doing my every Thursday, been doing a Q&A slash gameplay. So tomorrow we're going to play some Injustice 2 in light of the Snyder Cut actually being available on HBO Max. And we're going to just kind of talk and discuss, you know, any and everything there tomorrow. And yeah, that's really all I have coming up. And I think we're about done. Anything else that you want to say before we head out of here, man?
No, man, I'm just looking forward to going back to the movies and talking movies with you guys. And once again, thank you for having me, AJ.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, peace out. Later.